The number 10 Oklahoma Sooners baseball squad delivered a thrilling 7-6 walk-off win against UT Arlington on Tuesday night at L. Dale Mitchell Park. It was an amazing game showcasing this team's resiliency, which has really been the theme of this baseball team all season long. We're going to talk about more about it with all of their clutch hitting in front of an electric crowd right here on Sooner Spotlight. Welcome in, Sooner Nation, to another episode of Sooner Spotlight, your all-access pass for all things Oklahoma Sooners athletics. Today, talking about baseball and diving into an amazing win, a thrilling win. I don't really know a better word for it than just thrilling. It really was just that, and it was so much fun to watch. And this team has been so much fun to watch so far this season. If you haven't had a chance to watch this team, whether you watch them on your computer screen, on a TV screen, go in person to watch them, however you do it, go watch this team because they are electrifying. They are, like I said, resilient. That is the word that I'm using as the theme for this team because they're so amazing. And I feel like Skip Johnson has them in a really good spot. But before we do jump into this, first hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, comment down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this baseball team so far. I'll be down in Norman for Friday through Sunday, the entire series against Mississippi State, the SEC home opener. This is going to be extremely fun. I'm so happy to be able to go down there and cover for OU baseball this season. It's going to be a lot of fun and just watching where this team can go. And I posted something earlier, I think yesterday on X about am I being a little too delusional for saying that thinking about Omaha already, but it's just this team really shows that glimpse of what they can be. And I really think that this is a team that could have the chance to make it to Omaha. It's me totally jumping ahead of myself, getting way too excited and pumping at them up a little too early. They have a lot of heavy baseball to go through, a lot of tough baseball to go through in the SEC, who is the best conference, especially in baseball. And you're going to hear that in all kinds of sports. I know that, but that's just the way they've been, at least this year. And, we can credit Oklahoma for boosting them up just a little bit. No, in all seriousness, we're going to jump into this game. But first, we want to mention OU Insider because this Sooner Spotlight podcast is a member of the OU Insider content lineup. We're extremely excited to be partnered over with OU Insider and everything that they have to offer. If you don't know what OU Insider is, go check it out today. They have free plans available, but to get the full access, you do pay $10 a month. And I think there's even a yearly plan that cuts that down just a little bit. And it's more than what a lot of people make it out to be. It's a lot more than just paying to see a bunch of articles. You're paying to become a member of a community, an Oklahoma sports community. Sooner Nation is there. We support each other. We chat with each other. You can jump in on the articles that are written on there, and you can have your questions answered by people who actually know. Brandon and Parker do an amazing job over there with keeping everybody up to date with recruiting and all things football behind the scenes. The thing with OU Insider is that you're not just reading an article telling you about what happened. You're reading an article or reading something that was written by guys that know what happened and what happened behind the scenes through sources or through what they've seen themselves. And so it truly is something a lot more special than I think it's given credit for on social media. So go check it out today. You can take my word for it, but it's so much better and so much more when you go and look at it for yourself, because I was one of the doubters for a long time. I would see little bits and pieces, didn't want to go behind a paywall just to be able to get my sports information. But ever since I joined, obviously I think it's amazing, and I wouldn't have gone back, and that's why I ended up partnering with OU Insider, because I don't want to take away from their audience. I want to build their audience up because it truly is amazing. That's how much I stand by OU Insider. So go check it out at ouinsider.com today. Get signed up and become a member of the greatest sports community out there, at least the Sooner sports community. I don't know if there's any better than Sooner Nation, but it's out there. So go to ouinsider.com today, get signed up, and stop missing out on all the inside scoop. But let's go ahead and get into it, because this was a big-time win for the Oklahoma Sooners, mainly because it would have been a really tough loss to have taken. But, and even though it was a close game, and even though it was just a 7-6 walk-off win, it took the bottom of the ninth to be able to do it. It just because it went that far, it still felt like the Oklahoma Sooners had this in their bag the entire time. I never really lost faith in them. I never really felt like they were going to lose this game. And I'm sure a lot of Oklahoma fans felt that way. I know based on the social media reaction, it feels that way. It feels like Oklahoma fans are drawn into this team because it doesn't matter how close the game gets. It doesn't matter if it goes into the 10th, even the 12th inning, as we've seen so far this season. They always give you that reassurance that there's confidence behind the plate. And there was one game where we didn't see that confidence, and it felt the entire game that, hey, I don't know if we're going to win this game, and that was Game 2 of South Carolina. We talked about that before. I didn't see the confidence there, but then Game 3, they come out, they're trailing for much of that game. It's a really tight game all the way through, goes into the 10th inning, and it just felt like you could feel the confidence in the players, in the coaching staff. And when you feel that as a fan, it becomes so much more exciting. It becomes so much more fun because you can just sit there and watch the game and enjoy the thrilling atmosphere, the thrilling plays that are happening. And this team is absolutely electric. Starting off with sophomore Jackson Willits and what he was able to do, turning over a perfect 4-for-4 night and got himself on base plenty of times. Easton Carmichael became the hero with the game-winning single that ended up securing that run in the bottom of the ninth to secure their 18th victory for the season. But before we jump ahead of ourselves first, kind of going back to the beginning of this game, a very much so back and forth start with UT Arlington, where they jumped out to a big lead. And I kind of jumped into this game a little bit late, had stuff going on, jumped into this game and was like, what the heck is going on? And going back and looking at what happened there in the first inning, it just, that to start this game off, they started off very hot. UT Arlington, you have to give them their flowers because they came into a hostile environment where Sooner fans showed up. Like I said, it was a Tuesday night and Sooner fans showed up, which makes me even more excited for this SEC home opener series against Mississippi State this weekend because it's going to be a packed house. I can just about tell you right now. I really hope that's the case. But anyways, UT Arlington still came out, and like I said, getting off to a 3-0 lead in the second inning. I think I said first inning earlier, but that was in the second inning. And that just really shows their resilience. And so now you're battling resilience for resilience, and that's a tough battle. But it was a lot of fun because of the way that they fought so hard on the road, like I said, in a pretty packed environment, pretty hostile environment, and they were able to do something. But the Sooners, they answered, they responded pretty quickly in the bottom half of the second, as Scott Mudler, who was another big-time performer, ended up driving in a pair of runs with a double. And he ended up bringing in Dayton Taki. Almost said Tatum Docky. That's not quite right. Dayton Taki comes in as well as Jackson Willits, cutting the lead down to 3-2. And then Oklahoma's offense erupted in the third inning, where you really saw that confidence really show. You saw that confidence come out of this team because they ended up plating 3 runs to take a 5-4 lead. And Jason Walk, he blasted a solo home run. This has been a guy that has been getting better and better with every pitch thrown at him, and he's becoming so fun to watch. This team just keeps on throwing things at you. It started off with freshman Kyle Branch on fire in the beginning of the season. When he slows down and things aren't going his way, you got a guy like Jason Walk that knows how to step up and do what he's got to do. Jackson Willits, another guy stepping up yesterday, big time. And you see different guys step up when they're needed. And it's been a team that has been full of guys that are willing and able to step up at any moment. And that's exactly what's been happening with Jason Walk. I think he's been one of those guys that you have to look at him and what he's been doing and just be so excited going forward. Because again, this is what gets me excited about a possible trip to Omaha. I know that's sunshine pumping, right? And I posted something about that. I wish that term would go away. I'm allowed to be excited for this team because they're a team worth getting excited about. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yes, I'm getting way ahead of myself by dreaming of Omaha, but it's there. The possibility is on the table if they keep on playing like this. I know UT Arlington is a team that they should have beat by maybe double digits, but it showed you when times got tough, when things weren't going their way against a team that they really should be going their way, they were able to overcome. And it doesn't matter what's thrown at them. They're going to come out there and give you their best. That's what makes this Oklahoma baseball team so special. But anyways, yeah, they're in the third inning with three runs plated in. And also another guy to look at in this game was Dayton Taki, a 3.39 average. He ended up smashing a 2-run home run, finishing 2 for 3 with a double, a homer, and 2 RBIs. So just big-time stuff from him. Again, you can look all over this field, all over this batting lineup, and find somebody that's going to do something on offense. Or if it's necessary to do something on defense, anyone's able to step up at any given moment. It's truly a special thing when you've got guys like this that are able to step up in any moment, whether you're down or whether you're up, just keep on moving forward. But UT Arlington, even though Oklahoma got themselves back into the lead, they were just refusing to go down. They were refusing to go out quietly and just say, hey, we came in here and we gave it our all. We led for a little while. We had the lead. It's good enough, guys. Let's just settle down, get out of here with with some dignity. They could have. And even if they would have lost, 5-4, 6-4 even, it would have probably been just fine for them. It's not going to hurt their season a whole lot just by losing to a number 10 ranked Oklahoma team. But instead they said, hey, how much more exciting would it be for us to push this and go even further, push it down to the ninth inning as they were able to score, make it 6-6 in the ninth inning with a timely run. And it really set the stage for this dramatic finish. And again, giving UT Arlington their flowers because they came in here a big-time underdog. They had no business hanging in here with the number 10 team in the nation, but they pitched really well. Their defense was just fast and able to be concise with what's going on the field, making decisions really quick. And that was a really big thing for them. So you've got to give them their flowers where it's due. I've got to hand that over to them. Great job for them. And but anyways, they end up tying it up in the ninth inning, 6-6, going to the bottom with I believe there was 1 out left in the bottom of the ninth with a runner on base. I believe there was actually 2 outs. My notes have it written down as 1, but I'm pretty sure there was 2 outs because I remember this being much more dramatic than just 1 out. 1 out would have been a little dramatic with a walk-off win. But anyways, Easton Carmichael steps up to the plate. A junior ended up lacing 1 out to the right field and scores Jason Walk in for the game-winning run and sending the Sooners off, with just a complete walk-off and a complete frenzy. And everyone was so excited. And you see the excitement that it doesn't matter that it's a team that they should have handled very easily. It doesn't matter that this is a team that they should have never been in this battle with. They kept on fighting, and when they fought and had that finish that they wanted, the finish that they needed, they still show the excitement about that. They still show how much this means to them by going out there and celebrating with their team. And again, it's the energy around this team. There's so much that goes into this team that I think is just so much fun to watch and so exciting. And that's where it has a lot of us as Oklahoma fans very excited for what holds, what's to come in the future. Like I said, an Omaha trip would be absolutely amazing. I know I would enjoy that more than maybe a lot of Oklahoma fans, but this would truly be a special moment. And looking back at some of the standout performance, we've brought up some of them, but Jason Walk, 362 average. He ended up going 2 for 4 with a home run and an RBI. Dayton Taki, who again contributed 2 for 3 effort. But then also Scott Mudler stepping in and had some really big plays as well. He had a 250 average, hit a double, and logged a two-run RBI. And then also sophomore Jackson Willits, who I'm going to bring him up again, but absolutely worth bringing him up because he went 4 for 4, notching a home run. He had 3 runs and an RBI on the evening. So I mean, he had a full night. He almost had the cycle. He had a full night. It was absolutely amazing to watch what he was able to do, and seeing him just come full circle from the beginning. Not really a full circle, but just seeing him progress throughout the season as the season goes on. I love to see that from a guy like him, who it's just working. Things are clicking. Things are starting to get slower for him, and he's making pitchers pay for that. He's getting on the board. He's getting on base. He's getting runs on the board. It was an absolutely amazing run from him. And although the Sooners hits really kind of dwarfed UTA's 7, The Oklahoma Sooners ended up leaving 5 runners on base compared to the Mavericks only leaving 4 on base. And it's really crazy, too, that just off of 7 hits, so half the hits that Oklahoma got, Oklahoma had 14, and UTA ended up having 7. They still were in this game. They still tied it up 6-6 in the 9th inning. That's how tough this team was, and how much they wanted it. They were really coming in here with the mentality that, hey, we could win this game and we could upset the number 10 ranked Oklahoma Sooners. It really showed how tough both these teams are, and neither team ended up committing an error. That was big time news for Oklahoma and for UTA. It was really a testament to how crisp these two defenses are. And just how disciplined they are on both sides. They know where to be and they know how to get there. They know where the ball needs to go next. There was no errors this entire game, and that's what made it so tough, because Oklahoma didn't have anything to capitalize on. They just had to create something for themselves, and again, showing how amazing they were. And their bullpen, ended up showing off and coming out and standing firm, ended up holding up very firm, as they kind of got off to a shaky start, getting off down to a 3-0 deficit, got off to a shaky start, but Skip Johnson after the game ended up talking about, again, the resiliency and the grit from this team, that the determination that they have, that regardless of who they're going against and how the game is going, that they're going to come out here, they're going to keep on fighting, and they're going to show that enthusiasm. They're going to show how much each and every win means to them, no matter how big or small the team is that they're going against. They're going to keep on fighting, and they're going to keep on moving forward and trying to do something. And with this victory, like I said, it's nothing huge for Oklahoma. It's not like this victory ends up putting them into some kind of national rank or talks that they weren't already in. But it is big for them because this now improves their record to 18-2. They're in the SEC, where you've got to win every single non-conference game, because you might only win half of your conference games in this conference. So far, we started off pretty good, 2-1 in the conference. We go forward into this upcoming weekend, hoping to improve that to a 4-2. I think Oklahoma would be ecstatic about that. If they can move that to a 5-1, that would be so much better, so much more sweet. But regardless, this now moves them to 18-2 overall as they can continue this debut SEC season. And following their series win over South Carolina, where again they just showed that grit, that determination, that resilience nonstop last weekend, and it was truly a great win. Like I said, the second game, you could see that you could see where it just didn't feel like they had the same energy, and it to me it shows. It shows because you can see that when they're up at bat, you can see the frustration. Whereas when they win, for example, when they pushed it to the 10th inning in that game 3, you could see that they were still calm. If they struck out, or if they didn't get things to go their way, get a fly out, it wasn't wanting to slam the bat on the ground and getting frustrated like it was in game 2. It was, all right, let's regroup and let's see what we can do and try to improve it next time we're up the bat. And you see that from this team, and I think if you pay attention to their demeanor, that's where you feel like, hey, we're going to win this game. I can tell by the way that they feel, the way that what their feelings are expressing from the field. I think we have a pretty good chance to win this game, and that's what we see from the Sooners that I think is very special, something that we want to see going forward. For UT Arlington, the loss drops them to 6-11. Really a tough blow after, again, a valiant effort from them. They came out there with guns a-blazing, trying to win this game. And again, when they got behind, they didn't give up. They kept on going forward. They kept on showing, again, that determination, wanting to win this game. But instead, didn't quite pay off for them. But they still get to walk away from this. Even though it was a loss, they can walk away knowing that they gave it their all. They did everything they could. And, I really feel like this was a game for this UTA team that you've got to give it to them, because they put a tough fight against a very tough Oklahoma team. And, very, very good for them. But next up, Oklahoma is going to host Mississippi State this weekend in a 3-game SEC series starting Friday, moving on to Saturday and Sunday. Hope to see you all there in Norman as Oklahoma's looking to build on their momentum. For now, Sooner fans can kind of just savor this heart-pounding walk-off win courtesy of Easton Carmichael's heroics on a chilly March night in Norman.
Hey Sooner fans, did you enjoy this video? Well, go ahead and hit that like button and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What are you doing if you've made it this far and haven't already? You should be able to find that subscribe button over here. And then if you want to see full episodes, we've got those up here and clips right down here. So go check that out. But we thank you all so much for all the love, all the support. We'll catch you next time. Boomer.